The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. It is very seldom that mere ordinary people like John and myself secure ancestral halls for the summer.
Ancestral. Inherited, hereditary, familial.
조상의.
A colonial mansion, a hereditary estate, I would say a haunted house, and reach the height of romantic felicity.
Mansion. Residence, hall, abode.
저택.
Hereditary. Inborn, inherent, inherited, inbred.
상속의, 세습의, 유전되는.
Felicity. Happiness, joy, joyfulness, rapture.
행복, 경사.
But that would be asking too much of fate. Still, I will proudly declare that there is something queer about it.
Queer. Odd, strange, unusual, funny, peculiar.
이상한, 기이한.
Else, why should it be let so cheaply? And why have stood so long untenanted?
Untenanted. Uninhabited, unoccupied.
임대 또는 임차되지 않은.
John laughs at me, of course, but one expects that in marriage. John is practical in the extreme. He has no patience with faith, an intense horror of superstition.
Superstition. Unfounded belief, credulity.
미신.
And he scoffs openly at any talk of things not to be felt and seen and put down in figures.
Scoff. Mock, deride, ridicule.
비웃다.
John is a physician, and perhaps, I would not say it to a living soul, of course, but this is dead paper and a great relief to my mind. Perhaps that is one reason I do not get well faster. You see, he does not believe I am sick. And what can one do? If a physician of high standing, and one's own husband, assures friends and relatives that there is really nothing the matter with one but temporary nervous depression, a slight hysterical tendency, what is one to do?
Hysterical. Emotional, uncontrolled, out of control.
발작적인.
My brother is also a physician, and also of high standing, and he says the same thing. So I take phosphates or phosphites, whichever it is, and tonics, and journeys, and air, and exercise, and am absolutely forbidden to work until I am well again.
Phosphate. Salt.
인산염.
Phosphite. Salt.
아인산염.
Tonic. Stimulant, restorative, refresher.
항장약.
Personally, I disagree with their ideas. Personally, I believe that congenial work, with excitement and change, would do me good.
Congenial. Like-minded, compatible, easy to get along with.
마음이 맞는.
But what is one to do? I did write for a while in spite of them, but it does exhaust me a good deal, having to be so sly about it, or else meet with heavy opposition.
Sly. Cunning, crafty, clever.
교활한,
I sometimes fancy that in my condition if I had less opposition and more society and stimulus. But John says the very worst thing I can do is to think about my condition, and I confess it always makes me feel bad. So I will let it alone and talk about the house. The most beautiful place. It is quite alone, standing well back from the road, quite 3 miles from the village. It makes me think of English places that you read about, for there are hedges and walls and gates that lock, and lots of separate little houses for the gardeners and people. There is a delicious garden. I never saw such a garden, large and shady, full of box-bordered paths, and lined with long grape-covered arbors with seats under them.
Shady. Shaded, dark, sunless.
그늘이 드리워진,
Arbor. Arbor, pergola, gazebo.
나무, 수목, 정자.
There were greenhouses, too, but they are all broken now. There was some legal trouble, I believe, something about the heirs and co-heirs, anyhow, the place has been empty for years.
Anyhow. Anyway, in any case, no matter what.
어쨌든,
That spoils my ghostliness, I am afraid, but I don't care, there is something strange about the house, I can feel it.
Ghostliness. Supernature, phantom.
유령 같음, 요괴스러움.
I even said so to John one moonlight evening, but he said what I felt was a draught, and shut the window.
Moonlight. Illumination, brightness, illuminescence.
달빛,
Draft. Current of air, with, wind.
찬바람,